Hello and welcome to Castival. This is the podcast which brings on brilliant guests to pitch their dream music festival. My name is Matt Hoss and I'm the host, and my job is to pass to you the glow sticks and show you around the most awesome parts of this hypothetical festival. Today's guest is someone who's genuinely a childhood hero of mine. He's an incredibly warm, energetic, and wonderful actor. He appeared on Fresh Meat, Death in Paradise, Horrible History Movie, and other fantastic programs. Is the absolutely delightful Tony Gardner. Hello.
Hello, Matt. Hello. Welcome to my festival.
Yeah, well, I can imagine we're at the main gates, and it's already you can hear the beats and the bass already. It's already pumping. We're excited.
Yeah, it's kicking off. I've allowed you to come in through the VIP area and join.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, at the back. Yeah. I've got a throne there because it's my festival. So, yeah. Welcome.
You know what? There's been a lot of egotistical festivals. And they are the best ones as well. But I love that you got a throne already. I can already see it. It's got your name in part.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast. The way I always like to start this podcast is talking about people's music tastes. And the generic question I like to ask is, if someone were to ask you, what kind of music are you into? How do you typically respond to that question? Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's same. Yeah, very eclectic.
Yes,
I listen to lots of stuff, but yeah, I suppose it's just guided by your age and when you grew up. So I was born in '64, and so I started listening to music in 75 and stuff. So I went through punk and then ska and then indie when I was at uni, and so I like a lot of guitar bands. So, but as you get older, and as Spotify came along and other streaming services are available, you tend to, you listen to everything. I mean, young people don't follow trends anymore, which is quite interesting. Whereas we would follow, you'd get into jam and then get into new wave and then get into punk or whatever and follow things. It's a huge smorgasbord of people. My kids just like to listen to Motown or Hall and Oates or something very new. It's just I sort of follow. I just listen to anything now, and I'm not. I'm 56 now. I don't give a damn. I'm not worried about what people think or whether I'm listening to the wrong thing. And so shame goes out the window, really.
And that's a great way to live. And you make an excellent point. We live in a world where everything's so saturated, where there's tons of everything, where you can really have a bespoke taste, and you can you can like lots of different things at the same time as well. And I think that's a really wonderful thing to have as well. And people aren't just pigeonholed into being like mods or rockers. You can enjoy both aspects and all the different there's less tribalism, which I really like.
Yeah, no, it's just very different. It's just, there is less tribalism, and that's a good thing. I'm sure it's a good thing. And and it depends what you're doing. I mean, I run a lot, so I probably listen to different music when I'm running than I do, when I'm cooking, if you see what I mean. But
absolutely.
But yeah. It's but I'm a huge fan of festivals, and didn't really start going to festivals until 97 was our first Glastonbury, my wife and I, and we've been pretty much every year since. So I didn't really, and I used to live in Trowbridge, which isn't that far from Pilton, but I never went when I was growing up, and so we just started going in 97, and like I said, I probably missed about 2 or 3 since then, and so we go every year with our families and my friends from uni and stuff, and now we go with our kids. Once there was a 16 cutoff. They're not allowed until they're 16, and they can look after themselves because it's a different festival then. So it's all my mates, and then they can come along and look after themselves, because I'm not going to the circus field and the kids field. Thank you very much. I'm sitting around with my mates getting drunk.
We've had a lot of really wonderful guests on Castival so far, but I think you might be the biggest.
But hang on, we've had a lot of wonderful guests so far, but
no, it was going to be a positive thing.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going to slag you off mid-podcast.
Okay. Yeah. A bad start.
I mean,
that's gone in early.
Imagine this isn't a podcast, it's just a critique. And we've had some really wonderful guests on, right? I think you might be the most the seasoned veteran of them all, because you're a big fan of music festivals and you've been there since 1997 regularly as well. And I talk to a lot of comedians who usually just go there for work, but you often go there for pleasure, don't you?
No, I only go there for pleasure. I've never worked at a festival.
Absolutely.
Not that sort of comedian, really. I might have done once many, many years ago when I was in double act in Bristol. But no, it's purely for pleasure. And it was genuinely one of the most upsetting things, obviously, no, it's not the most upsetting thing. It's the 60,000 excess deaths in this country that are probably more upsetting. But missing 2 festivals during the pandemic has been, because it's our holiday. So we've missed Glastonbury and Latitude.
Yeah.
I feel bereft, it's awful. And the weekend they were on was, we all had to get together for a big virtual hug, us and the 70 people who go in our group. And
oh, bless.
Yeah. So it's been that's been a shame. And I'm just praying and hoping they'll happen next year, but I'm not convinced they will.
Yeah, it's so sad because especially with festivals, it's kind of like, I know it sounds weird, but there's such a community there, and it feels like part of a family going to a festival. Do you know what I mean? It feels like
and Glastonbury very much so. And have you done Glastonbury?
So I haven't actually performed there, but I have been there a few times as well. So
been there, yeah. So it's extraordinary. It's not like any other festival, and it's you can't really explain it to someone who's not been, but it is it's life-changing, really. I think it's certainly brought us closer together as friends. You probably wouldn't see our friends for 5-10 years at a time, but we see them every year at Glastonbury. And it's an extraordinary thing, and certainly changed our lives, that festival. And I can never see myself not going while I'm well and able to walk. And every year I go, and you sort of think, oh, am I going to be the oldest here? But we never are by a long way. So,
no, and that's what I love about festivals as well. Like, because there's this idea that it's for young people, and I guess a lot of young people do go. But I remember going to Download, and I'm a big as a teenager, I used to really love rock and metal. I still do, but I like lots of different things now. But equally, I remember seeing quite elderly people going to Download, and that's really cool. I like
even in their 50s. My God.
Yeah, he had a couple of grey hairs. I thought we were going to get choked down, but it was whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, one of our groups, because they're friends from mine from when I was at university, and one of our groups he's just turned 60, and he's just had a grandson. So that was going to be our first having a grandparent come this year.
Oh, bless
but
you.
It never happened. So maybe next year.
So obviously you've been to so many Glastonburys and so many festivals. What were some of the biggest highlights in the last 2 decades?
Glastonbury. Glastonbury is just it's so eclectic, and there's so many different things that happen. It's more about the other weird experiences you have there. But musically, I would say McCartney in 2005 or 2004 was quite extraordinary. That was a brilliant concert. I really enjoyed that. And Stormzy last year was up there, was really up there in terms of pyramid stage acts. I wasn't planning to see him. It's not my sort of listen, I don't cook to it, and I don't to it, but it was, and I almost went to see Tame Impala on the other stage, even up to the last minute, and I thought, actually, no, this might be sort of quite an important event. And it was an extraordinary, it sort of moves beyond just being a headline act. It was just fabulous, absolutely fantastic. So those two are always going to be very high up there. And then moments like Tom York and Johnny Greenwood on the Park stage doing a secret sort of set. And,
oh my God,
that was out of this world. And but it's just the laughs and the fun that you have, really.
That's a very lovely way to articulate it as well. What I also we've just kind of noted, is that I like how you only have 2 areas where you listen to music, either running or cooking. No other time, no other place. Yeah, I mean, those are the only time you get to.
Oh, no. I mean, I also have it on. Well, it depends. If I'm working, writing, I can't really have music on, which is why sort of dance music's quite good, actually. So I would listen to.
Oh, really?
Sort of more ambient stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd certainly listen to Underworld and things like that, and dance music when I'm running. But I can't listen to anything sort of very, very vocal if I'm doing some writing and things like that, or trying to concentrate. But yeah,
for sure. I think myself, I like to listen to video game soundtracks or just film soundtracks, because they're there to be in the background to help you focus on the thing you're doing as well. I find that really helpful.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it?
So obviously we talked about music festivals. Did you ever want to be a musician before becoming an actor?
No. Well, I didn't want to be a musician. I was really fascinated with guitar all my life, and I got a guitar when I was about 13, but I was dreadful and always was. But funnily enough, I've been learning piano in the last year. My wife got me lessons without telling me, and because we've got a piano and the kids don't, they sort of got to grade when the Saints go marching in and then gave up. So we've got this piano in our room that we bought 15 years ago, and it just seems such a waste. And so I'm doing that, and it's great. I really enjoy it. So I'm just about to take my grade 2.
Oh, brilliant!
So yeah, it's good. I'm not, it's never going to get anywhere. But funny enough, I haven't picked up a guitar. I've always got a guitar in my office, and I would always pick it up and things and play very badly. But I haven't touched it at all. So because it's all about learning music as well, which I'm enjoying as well, which is difficult. It's difficult, and scales are difficult, and so it's been lockdown's been fantastic for that.
Absolutely,
always got something to do. Yeah.
And funnily enough, I started learning keyboard about a year ago, and I'm still very bad at it. But do you know what I mean? Like, I like the idea that you never stop learning something different. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a nice motif.
No, it's great, and it was quite fun going in for my grade 1. I was hoping there was going to be loads of little kids there, so I could come out and go, yes, nailed it. But there wasn't. They sort of put the adults in doing their grade 1s, and these people sort of, but he loved it. He said, "Oh, I love it when I see someone coming in doing their grade 1." And he's sort of middle-aged. He said, it's quite fun. So they're quite respectful, and they think it's cool that we've just gone, actually, I'm going to do my grade 1, sod it. But musicians always, I realise now, mean well, the one way I sort of identified that how important they are is I've never been starry at all meeting any actors at all, or anyone in the entertainment business. It doesn't, and it's fine. They're great. I've got great respect for them, but I lose my shit. We love swearing here.
Yes, go for it.
I lose my shit when I meet musicians. It's just they mean so much more. I mean, and I've met very few, but the ones that I have met over the years, and I've been lucky enough to meet a fair few now, have just, it's just wonderful. I've got so much respect for them, and that's my I get very starry if I meet. I always wonder about who the most starry I would be. Game I play with myself. What would be the most starry and the most tongue-tied I'd be, and it would probably be McCartney, I'd have thought.
Oh yeah,
I would probably lose my head if I met him.
Oh my god, I think me too as well. But why do you think it is towards musicians as opposed to any other entertainer? What is it about musicians that makes you go turn to a fangirl?
I don't know. I suppose I don't know. Off the top of my head, I would say just because it's so important to me, music, and it's probably made me feel more emotional. It being music, which is a very great generalization, but I've probably been more moved by music. I have definitely 100% been more moved by music over the years in terms of the amount of move than I have any other art form. So I suppose it's that. And so to meet the people who produce that, and Joni Mitchell, I've got a picture of her I'm just looking at on my wall that's signed, and meeting her would be extraordinary, except that she's a very difficult woman. I know I'd still can you imagine meeting someone like that? But then just above her I've got a picture of Stan Laurel. I know he's dead now, so there you go. So I'm just changing my mind a bit, because if I'd have met him, that would have I'd have found that extraordinary. But we're not talking about about musicians.
That's my other podcast. It's Slapstick and Go with Matt Horse. It's a different podcast, but you're welcome on it sometime.
Anytime.
Before we move on to the next part of our podcast, what's the craziest crowd you've ever been in? Has there ever been any kind of intense or bewildering crowds you've been in your life?
No, I can't really think of anything. I tend not to go to a front of all these things, and they give me this. They make me a bit scared and stuff. So I'm not scared. It's just even as a youngster, so I don't like that whole idea of my mates used to get out the front of jam concerts and stuff, and I just don't know how they could do that. Yeah. So I tend to keep out of all that. So no, I couldn't tell you. I tend to keep. We have a nice little area that we have a little bit of space. We keep out of it when we're at Glastonbury.
Although I kind of that's absolutely fair enough. But I also can see you being crowd surfing in as well. So I can definitely see the two.
I'm always threatening to, and my wife calls me back, because that's the sort of thing I would do. And it's really weird because I get spotted in crowds at Glastonbury.
Yeah.
And someone took a video of me last year at a King Princess gig at Glastonbury at the Park stage, and it went a bit. Get some lad Bible, whatever it is, because I did My Parents Are Aliens, and so these kids are there, are now adults who sort of grew up watching that show, so they get a bit excited when they see me and usually because we've got some dress theme, so I was in some giraffe print suit,
Yeah. Yeah.
stupid hat, and dancing like you do, and then you get a video. It's fine. I don't mind at all. It could be a lot worse. There could be some terrible videos of me going around, but no one's ever found me.
Yeah, absolutely. But I like it's a threat, isn't like this year it might be the year, you better listen to me or else I'm going over the top. It's going to be great.
Yeah. No, there's been a lot of that over the years. My poor wife, me doing stupid things. Why have you done that? Because I would do that. Never. No, I haven't staged. I have stage dive once in Edinburgh, and it was Bill Bailey's band called Beer Gut 100, and I used to do it every night for something to do. So who was in it? Bill Bailey and Kevin Eldon and Martin Treneman, and I used to get up on the stage when they were singing some sort of punk song and do it stage dive, but I wouldn't. I would then, the gag was that I would then gently have to get down and people would I did it every night for about 10 nights. It was quite tedious the first time. Yeah.
Well, I think it's time to go. We're already in the front gates of your festival, but let's go behind the throne and sort out some of the fundamentals of your camp. Thank you so much for listening to Castival. We hope you're enjoying towards the end of the season. If you like what we do, why don't you give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get this from, because those ratings really help us. They allow us to be seen more. And why don't you tell your friends about it as well? If you want to get in contact with us, you can email us your own lineup. Email us at castivalpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us at Castival Podcast on Twitter, and you can also follow me at Matt Hoss Comedy on Twitter, Instagram, and if you want some extra entertainment, why don't you follow me on Twitch as well, also at Matt Hoss Comedy. There's lots of things going on. We hope you enjoy this episode and enjoy the rest of the season. Castival, are you ready? Here we go! Get on your feet! Know this one, sing along. Beautiful. Tony, do you have the name of your festival?
No, I don't have any name. It would have to be Tony Fest or something, or Garden Fest. No, if I'd have had a chance to think about it, I would have put at least 10 minutes thought into it. No, I haven't. It will be something quite the something festival that, like they have the Wilderness Festival or this or that. Or don't know, or something stock. Tonystock. There you go.
Tonystock. It sounds like a mafia boss. Hey, Tonystock.
Yeah, or a estate agent.
Yeah.
Tonystock. Oh, plumber. Tonystock plumbers. A plumber.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Tonystock. Or you could have something like the Gardener's variety or something like that, or something like that. There's definitely some pun there somewhere, but that's not for me to find out. I like Tonystock. That's good.
Okay, that'll do.
Do you know where that's geographically your festival will take place?
No. Every other festival is always going to be in the shadow of Glastonbury and Latitude. I love Latitude. So yeah, no, I don't mind where it is as long as it's not pissing down with rain. So in England, I think that's England, Scotland, doesn't matter. In Great Britain, I think I would rely a lot on the great organisation that we have, because I think it's one thing that over the years, it used to be just Glastonbury and a couple of other festivals, whatever, or maybe 3 or 5 or 6, 10, whatever. It's something we do really well. I think we're great at it, and I think the rest of the world must look at us and think, like Coachella or whatever, and just see that we're really good at organising events where thousands and thousands of people sit in the open air for a weekend and listen to live music, and that's basically what festivals are and what they should be.
Brilliant.
The thought that we're not going to have it for another 18 months, whatever, is a nightmare. But there you go. So no, Great Britain. Actually, somewhere close to my home. So yeah, somewhere reasonably near Colchester, so I don't have to travel too far.
So yeah, because that happens quite a lot there. Because some people are like, yeah, just like it's somewhere nice, but actually just outside of my house would be great. Actually.
Yeah. Essex. It has to be in Essex. There we go. I want an Essex festival. Used to go to V Festival quite a lot back in the day, and that's now shut and it's closed. So yeah, somewhere in Essex, because I like Essex. So yeah.
So talking about it being close to your proximity, would you be camping at the festival? Is there camping at your festival?
Yeah, and everyone's got a camp. You've got to make a whole weekend of it. I mean, Glastonbury, we turn up on the Saturday. We turn up on a Tuesday night.
Yes, mate.
We camp. We queue up all night, and in the queue for however many hours that is, and they let you in about 8:00. And so we're there Wednesday till we leave Monday morning, early Monday morning. So and that's it's a good week. So that's what festivals should. This isn't going to be as big as Glastonbury. Nothing can be as big as Glastonbury. I don't know how big this is. I mean, I've got a lot of meetings to have about it, Matt, to be honest. Well, you're lucky that I can give you this hour to talk about it, because I've got several phone calls to make, meetings. I've got to talk to loads of people are pitching in, obviously want to do it, the mean fiddler lot and all.
And I tell you what, you've got about like 15 meetings for the throne alone. You know what I mean? It's a giant.
I know. Who's going to make the throne?
Exactly. It's like Game of Thrones-esque, if you know what I mean. But I like it because some people come on here who are very kind of anti-camping, and I think and people don't like staying there for the whole week. But I love it when you have to. I think it is a holiday. Do you know what I mean? And that whole week is really important.
Every festival is different for everyone. It's such an individual thing. But no, it just so happens that our thing is we've had an opportunity to go in. We had a teepee one year, but none of us. It was muddy that year, so we didn't all go over there. We just stayed, and even most people will all camp in the same area. So, like I said, there's about 70 of us. So, we'll have 30 odd tents, 40 tents, and we always camp. And people say, surely you go backstage, surely you go VIP. I said, no, we've got to stay with my mates, because that's the whole part of the fun, is making your way back there. And there's always someone sat up talking and drinking. And it used to be sort of staring into a campfire and talking. There's less fires at Glastonbury, which is remiss, really. I don't know why that's happened, but probably health and safety. I would like campfires at this festival, definitely.
Yeah, because campfires are great as well. And
you used to come over the hill at Glastonbury, used to park in the 90s, you used to park, and the first thing you'd see would be the smoke coming up on the Wednesday, and then when you get back from Glastonbury, you absolutely stink of bonfires and things, and it just doesn't happen anymore. It's fine. It's this is just progress. It just moves on. But it was a great thing, and Joe Strummer was very into it. Hence Strummerville at Glastonbury, and the whole idea of campfire and sitting round and staring into a fire and talking shit is or not so shit, but is a great thing. It's very primeval thing, isn't it? It's what we've always done, and it's where art stems from, I suppose, is just telling stories, and the campfire is a very important part of that.
And absolutely, that smell as well, that's so evocative. Like if I get that whiff of a campfire smell, and it just takes me back as well.
Yeah.
Although on the flip side, I remember going to the Leeds Festival when I was a teenager, and
when they set fire to the loos.
Yeah. Well, literally, like on the sun, I went there for lots of years. Every Sunday was like it was like hell on earth.
Set fire to loo day.
Yeah, it was like not even just.
I was there those years. We filmed My Parents' Were Aliens in Leeds, so that's where we did get VIP there actually, because we're off the telly, and that was fun. That was good fun. But yeah, I had some nice times at Leeds Festival. That's 3 or 4 of those.
That's brilliant.
Saw the Streets doing their first ever gig there. I'm sure I did. And Arcade Fire's first ever UK gig, I think I saw there, or maybe in the second. They might have been at Reading the day before, but there you go.
Tell you what, there's high potential, Tony, for you to make me very jealous in the course of this podcast interview, because so far you're making me just going, oh, I wish I could be there. That's great. Okay, so I think it's time to head to your festival, and let's see who's playing. About to drop some acid like I know I should, but I just remember that I left it in the club. I don't know how I'll get my high. I take a look around and know I sigh, but then my salvation, it comes through, cause I'm inhaling pure O2, cause I'm going into the oxygen tank, cause I'm going into the oxygen tank, That was actually quite disappointing. Firstly, how many days have you got for your festival?
Well, this is what I did, Matt.
Yes.
I decided not to go down the line of the all-time greatest and sort of have the Beatles subbed by Jimi Hendrix. and Joni Mitchell on the other stage and things like that. Well, you could have Joni Mitchell, although her voice isn't very good. So this could happen, is what I'm saying. These are people who are alive. Some of the bands don't exist anymore, but they could reform for this festival. So that's what I've done. It's a decision I've made and I've stuck to.
Yeah.
I'm not having Richard Pryor in the comedy tent. I haven't got a comedy tent. So I've gone for 2 stages. I've chosen a main stage and what do I call them? Bigger stage and smaller stage. Again, I've got meetings about that later on today with my ideas people. My stage name ideas people who will actually be genuinely cross that you've laughed at that.
Well, what I like is that I worry that this is a podcast, but I feel like you've taken it from being hypothetical to being reality here. This could be a real thing. We can make this happen, Tony.
Well, I don't know. I don't quite understand why you're saying. Of course we can, but yeah. So this is how I went about it. So I've got alive people who are alive and are still playing music, and I've chosen 3 days. And I chose the times of the park stage for the smaller stage and the times of last year's park stage and the times for, we won't go through the times, but basically it gives us about 8 acts per day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then I've got a late night thing going on as well. I think late night, and I've put them on these stages, but like at Latitude, the late night stuff goes on somewhere else. But anyway, so I've, at the end of the headliner, there's always 2 acts on the main stage. I've got them on the smaller stage. Yeah, so there you go.
Also, I believe you mentioned that you put some acts on for your daughters, or for.
Oh yeah, no, I've got 3 kids. I've only got 1 daughter. I've got 3 kids who are now 18, 25, and 21. I don't know why I said them in that order. Probably I don't like the 21-year-old. And so I've chosen so it's for my acts, but festivals are all about family and friends, and so I've let them all have a choice of acts. I said you can choose some acts to go on in the festival. I think they would have come anyway, but it makes sure that they come.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they've got something, and then it gives me something to listen to that I haven't particularly listened to before, which I think is important for festivals anyway. The festival itself isn't just these 2 stages. It's just I've curated these 2 stages. There's a hell of a lot going on elsewhere,
and obviously this is a podcast, so we can't fit them all in. This is just a quick fix.
No. Listen, I'm just talking my 2 stages. I have a genuine worry here that I won't be able to see all the acts, but I've decided that there'll be a backstage area where I can quickly flip from one side of the stage, one stage to the other, or the other one quite quickly. So again, these aren't set in stone. I've got to talk to the managers and people of the artists and stuff, and some of them won't be happy where they've been put, but they can stuff it. So
brilliant.
There's a lot to talk about, but this is really preliminary stuff here. So this is early days of this festival.
So I think why don't we start off with who is the first person to open up the festival? Who's the first act?
I've got so the first act is pre-act. I've said it's unsigned twat, but I noticed.
I enjoyed that.
It's an act called Jack Gardner, and that's my son, my eldest son, who he's not a musician, but he plays at people's weddings, and he is a musician. He's very good, but that's not his job, and he's not. Doesn't play professionally, but he wanted to play, so I've put him on before the main. He's not happy. He wanted to go second to the headliner, but I'm not doing that. I'm not an idiot, because it's literally going to get me and his mum there. His brother and sister have already said they're not coming. Because it's too early. Because I think it's a 10:30 start. And it's on the Fridays, but the Thursday will be hammered. Because elsewhere we've got the cider bus from Glastonbury is going to be there. The West Holt's bar is going to be there, called something else. There's all sort of Glastonbury things that will come in. So anyway, the chances of him getting anyone there is very small. But it placated him, and it means at least he'll come. What
I love is like this is there's already a lot of diplomatic to and froing already.
It's hell. It's a nightmare. It's absolutely not. I'm quite stressed about it. It's bad enough being in a pandemic and having to socially distance, let alone trying to sort out my son wanting to play on the main stage at 9:30 at night.
Because your lineup, it says Unsigned Twat as well. And genuinely, it took me a while because I thought that was just some punk band called Unsigned Twat because I thought that's a cool name actually. But I wasn't sure if it was a band or not, to be honest.
No, it's the Unsigned Twat moment. It'll be quite famous. It'll become like the legend slot.
Yeah.
So every year when, every year this festival goes on, the pre-act will be the Unsigned Twat. It used to be quite a big moment at Glastonbury, having the first person to play on the pyramid stage. And it still sort of is. I've seen the Darkness do it, and Kate Nash did it once. And but anyway, so he's on the smaller stage, Jack Gardner. He's going to do a set. He'll do his wedding set.
Well, I think for next year's or future years for Unsigned Twat, you can have all the people who completed their grade ones do it. You know what I mean? Like there'll be a branch of piano players. Yeah, exactly. Every year it's a different Gardner. It's great.
Yeah. Okay. No one will be there anyway. It's too early.
All right, brilliant. So should we start off with the smaller stage and work away across?
First act is someone called Self-Esteem, who I've just got into, actually. Justin Morehouse interviewed her on his podcast. She's wonderful. She's called Rebecca Lucy Taylor, and I've just listened to her quite a lot in the last few weeks.
It's
so
wonderful,
I've put her opening the stage. I think she's fantastic.
Yeah, right.
I just think the music's not like anything else. And I've seen her live and her stuff live on YouTube, and she does all this sort of fantastic dancing with these other two vocalists. And Self-Esteem is just her. She does all the stuff in studio, and but live she has a band, and I think she's great. It'd be a good start.
And she, Self-Esteem is one of the artists which is picked quite regularly on Castival, actually. And,
really?
Yeah. So
I want to know who's been on this, but don't tell me now because it will put me off. But maybe afterwards I'll ask you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I'll let you know. You've had some fantastic acts.
Yeah,
and you also said earlier to me off recording that you finished the first series. I don't know how I'm getting in. Where am I?
This is season 11. And
season 11, is it? Yeah, I bet. Season 11. We got anything else we can put on? We've still got that Tony Gardner one from 2020. Well,
I tried to get Jack Gardner on, but he's just too busy. Yeah. Brilliant. Self-Esteem.
So Self-Esteem to open. I mean, listen, I might be wrong in some of these orders, and also obviously some of them might not want to open; they might want to go elsewhere. But anyway, so Jack Gardner followed by Self-Esteem. Okay, next one is Abby Osea. You won't have heard of her, but you might have heard of her. She's got a fantastic track called Running. Abby is someone I know, and she was at Bristol University with Jack Gardner, funnily enough, who opens on the Unsigned Twat
a lot of nepotism already.
Oh, absolutely. And Abby is a fantastic recording artist, and
brilliant.
I think she's going to be wonderful. And I've seen her at Latitude playing, and she's a friend, and I'm very proud of her. And she'd be brilliant there.
So what kind of music does Abby do?
Oh, beautiful. It's very soulful, sort of. Yeah, she's just got this most tremendous voice, but a lot of the stuff I think is quite mellow and almost dancey, and a lot of them are remixed. Her tracks. The track called Running, she's had millions of hits on Spotify.
Brilliant.
So it's I really like Massive Attack and people like that, and everything. But the girl, their latest sort of stuff when they did sort of dancey stuff. So yeah, I'm very fond of her music anyway. But she's someone I know, which I think is great.
Wonderful.
You'll notice as we go through it that I've got a lot of female artists because I've sort of seemed to be quite a fan of the female voice or something.
Well, genuinely, in real festivals and in the podcast as well, like. We do err on the side of sometimes it can be a bit male heavy, which is a shame. And
sometimes it always is. There was famously only about 3 or 4 years ago where they blacked out with a marker all the artists at the Reading and Leeds who weren't fronted by a female artist or were a female artist, and there was only about 4 acts there.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think Glastonbury's changed that, and even this year that was cancelled. I think there was more than 50%, I'm sure, that were female artists. So anyway, but I've not done it for that reason. I just I've always liked the female voice. But
absolutely,
there you go. So after Abby Osea, we've got Tennis, and that's Tennis is an American band who I don't know. So what I've done, the bands that I don't know, because Tennis was chosen by Rebecca, who is my son Jack's fiance. and so she's chosen tennis, and so I've made a Spotify playlist that I run to recently called Castival, and so I've been listening to the acts that I don't know, and tennis are one of them, and they're great, really good, a lovely duo from America, and really sort of quite 70s. Jack and Rebecca seem to be into sort of 70s sort of vocalists and songwriting, sort of Carol Bayer Sager, that sort of thing, and it sounds to me like that anyway, but that's an obscure reference, but Carol King, that sort of thing. Cool. Tennis very good. Then Pale Waves, who I love. I think Pale Waves are fantastic, again fronted by a female vocalist. They're a Manchester
really
goth band. Oh, they're great, so good live, and sort of very sort of poppy goth sort of thing. Something I would never thought I'd really do. Really like them. I think they're great.
So, do you think a lot of your acts, have you seen them live before? Or
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. To be honest, I have. Yeah, but that's okay. It's my festival. Shut
Absolutely. up. Sorry, Tony.
Do what I like. I can have you thrown out.
Oh no, please! I've just got the VIP pass, please.
All right, go on.
But I kind of like it. But do you think it's important to see a band live to become a fan of their music?
No, not necessarily. No, I don't. I don't think I've seen them all live. No. Just if I like a band, I'll do everything I can to go and see them. So that's how it works. So it just so happens that these are all bands I really, really like, or artists I really, really like, and I have seen them because I go out of my way to make sure I see them. Yeah.
That's a really cool answer. I remember reading in Slash's autobiography. Well, I'm sure it's ghostwritten, but like he talked about in the 80s, he would only trust listen to a band's live album before checking out their other stuff, and I was never sure how that would work, and I just thought I'd ask you that question. That was the context for that question there, but I just
okay. No, I've never really been like that. I've sort of fond of live albums, but I I wouldn't sort of listen to them over the studio version of anything, even the great ones. Thin Lizzy's Live and Dangerous, because unfortunately that's sort of a bit, they've all been manipulated, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Re-recorded in the studio, all the bum notes have been re-recorded and things like that, but
so after your poppy goths, who have you got?
After Pale Waves, the Beths, who I've got into recently, but again, that's a choice of the unsigned twat. The Beths are from New Zealand. They're great, really good. A New Zealand pop band, and actually, again, female fronted, but that's Jack's choice. That's one of Jack's choices. And again, Dent May following on. That's Dent May's. My son's really into Dent May, singer-songwriter from America. To the extent he's just had a tattoo on his arm of one of his titles, which is embarrassing. It's stalking. It's literally stalking Dent May. Oh God, this seems like this is Jack and Rebecca's stage, because following on from Dent May and then we're now this is 10:15 at night.
Yeah, this is late.
So this is the official headliner of that stage. So it's quite a chilled out stage.
Yeah, it's very
stage.
There's certainly a theme, and I really like it.
Yeah. And that's deliberately so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he says, yeah, it is. And so Father John Misty, who is a great artist, but again, that's Jack and Rebecca's choice. And I've not seen him live, so it'd be nice.
Yeah, I've only last year I got into Father John Misty, and what a wild trip as well there. And obviously there's a lot of different names with Father John Misty. There's a lot of different monikers with that as well. But there's some really wonderful albums there as well. I think I Love You, Honey Bear. It's the album I got into. Yeah,
that's really great. Yeah. No, he seems like a fantastic artist, and from what I hear, he's amazing live. So he would be great to see. So there you go. That's that one. And then I've got something called Late Night, and I've got them on this stage every night. Yeah. So I think this stage it's going to be like the Park stage. So I want it in a sort of a natural hollow somewhere, like a natural amphitheatre and then at night it just gets a bit sort of dancey or whatever.
Yeah.
This night, not so much, because my youngest has chosen this, and I can barely get a word out of him. He's 18. So he mumbled a couple of artists to me, and I had to say, pardon? What did you, who? So these are two artists who I didn't really know. And again, I've put them on my Castival playlist and I've been listening and actually quite like them. Yeah. It's sort of, both these artists seem to be from the same sort of genre. Mm-hmm. And they're Brockhampton and Tyler, the Creator.
Yeah, cool.
And it's sort of rap music, but quite soulful and quite lyrically sort of interesting. And yeah, so
I can't
there
say.
again, two artists I've never seen, and
Mhm.
but again, I literally had to let him have the choice of the two acts, otherwise he won't come. He's turned down Glastonbury once when he was
Oh
about
my God.
17. I've never understood that. He was going to come this year, but yeah, he's an odd one in terms
Yeah.
of that. He's not. He's a lovely guy. But those are his two acts. So yeah, it's going to all kick off there with
Brilliant.
Brockhampton and Tyler the Creator.
And that's you've had a quite chill day all day, and then it's quite nice to have that late night treat, if you know what I mean. So like it's a different.
Yes, I
kind of
think so,
yeah,
Matt.
yeah.
I think so too.
I'm sorry,
I
Tony.
think you're right. Actually, no, I think you're right. That's good. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I didn't realize it was an exam.
Oh, right, sorry. I'm just.
No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking.
Well, I feel so attacked already.
That's not bad. Anyway, that's Friday. So Friday's a good Friday on the bigger stage.
Yeah, let's head
to that at the same time.
Yes, let's do that.
So we open with Rufus Wainwright.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be able to go between stages because
yes, absolutely.
They'll be close. So Rufus, he's a fantastic artist who I got into reasonably late, about the time of the Want albums, Want 1 and Want 2, and then it sort of found his back catalogue after that. And I've seen him several times, and I just think he's just an incredible artist. So that'll be great. And wow, followed by Ben Folds.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Now that could be Ben Folds or Ben Folds 5. I don't mind either. I'm a huge fan of Ben Folds, and he's been brilliant during lockdown, actually.
Oh, really?
Doing gigs from his apartment he's in Sydney. I think he might have even been stuck there on tour or something. I know his daughter lives there. Daughters, I think. And he's just been doing they're on YouTube, these amazing gigs and stuff for his fans and stuff on a Saturday night about 1 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, he's just brilliant anyway. He's just an amazing artist, and live or with Ben Folds 5. He's a real talent. As Rufus is, I suspect they'll do something together, which they have done in the past.
That's so cool. So
again, their people are talking at the moment, which is quite exciting. Their people are talking to see if they will sort of do something live, because I
asked. Well, Ben Folds as well. It's Ben. Yeah, I don't know loads of it, but I know a lot of my friends like Ben Folds. So where would you recommend me starting with Ben Folds? To kind of is there an album in particular or a certain song you would recommend?
Whatever and ever, amen. I think there's even his first album's fantastic. The early stuff is the Ben Folds 5 was what he sort of started off with. So it's on Spotify, you find it sort of split between Ben Folds and Ben Folds 5, but Ben Folds 5 were a 3-piece, so guitar, bass, and drums. Piano, bass, and drums. Interestingly enough. Start with maybe the first 2 Ben Folds albums. But
that's wonderful.
He's fantastic, great lyricist and fantastic musician.
Yeah, I think from what my friends say, it's there's a wonderful musicianship in the works, which makes it like masterful. From what I gather.
Yeah. But it's also interesting seeing him live in those early and now. But with the idea of the piano being a percussion instrument, he was trained as a drummer, classical drummer, I think. And but that when he really gets going, it's all this footage of him throwing the piano stool at the keys and all this. he's just brilliant. He was just so good. So yes, Ben Folds, that'll be very exciting.
Okay.
Followed by another female vocalist. I've put her on the main stage. And
yes.
Good for her. Called King Princess. Have you heard of her?
So genuinely, the only reason I know King Princess is because I watched a video of you on my Bible earlier today as well at the front of King Princess. That's unfortunately the only reason.
I was watching it. Yeah, it just looks creepy, doesn't it? Some 50-year-old man singing along to a 21-year-old New Yorker. Oh God, it's
in all
weird.
Fair, like genuine, like this might just be my interpretation, but I actually think it's like wonderful as well. Like I think, but then again, I don't want to seem like I'm being patronizing, but equally, I just think it's great that you're enjoying yourself, and everyone should be like. I've been in so many gigs where people are so uptight. It's like, no, that's certainly the vibe I bring, and that's certainly the vibe.
Yeah. Well, it's Glastonbury, isn't it? But again, she's an artist who's really, produced music in the last year or so, or since the beginning of her career when she was 19, whatever. That's really just I love. Isn't it great when you find an artist that you just want to listen to everything they do, and you just want to put that album on and just listen to it. I just think she's fantastic. I just think a really great artist. Mark Ronson's producing stuff with her now, and I think she's going to be a big star. Well, she is already, but yeah, she's fantastic.
Wonderful. So who's on after King Princess?
Haim.
Yes, another popular one as well.
More female vocalists. In fact, everyone now from those is female vocalists. Oh well, there you go. Haim, love Haim. That new album of theirs, brilliant.
Yeah,
I just think they're great. I have seen them, and I've loved them since the very beginning. Actually, all their stuff, really, really like it. So yeah, they'll be fantastic and brilliant live. Really, really good live.
Yeah. So who are the final three?
And the final three are, this is like a proper festival, this one, because this would work. You'd have Haim followed by Lord, who she might want to headline. Lord, I don't really know. And she's a choice of Maisie, my daughter, to get her to come along to the festival. I think she would have come anyway, but so Lord is for her, Maisie and her friends. So that was her choice. And I think it's a pretty good choice. From what I've seen, I really like.
I also think Lord would be, like you say headline, but I actually think third down, that's like, I always love the three from the top, because it's a very special slot there. It's like just as the evening's settling down and people are starting to
it's the sunset slot. Big Elbow do it at Glastonbury, and Radiohead, I think. No, it was Tom York and Johnny Greenwood did it. But yeah, that third from headliner is usually the sunset, which should be great.
But yeah, particularly on the Friday where there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of atmosphere on the night. Lord, she can really bring it as well. And
they'll obviously, every artist on the bill that I've mentioned so far will be just busting a gut because it's my festival.
Yeah, it's in the contract.
They don't want to let me down.
Exactly. They can see you on the throne at the
pulling
back.
out a little bit extra just for Tony. So we might just please let him invite us back next year. I want to go to that cider bus thing again. It's brilliant.
He's got this weird throne, and it's
but it's fine. It's sort of ironic, and he's such a good guy. He's really good. Apparently, he used to be an actor till the pandemic when the industry stopped. And he started organising festivals.
But he's tricked out some podcaster who keeps on trying to talk to him. It's very, very awkward. So after Lord,
Lord is Lauryn Hill, who I love Lauryn Hill.
I actually have no idea who Lauryn Hill is. Could you?
You're joking.
Genuinely, I feel really ashamed, but
I suppose it could be an age thing. Well, she was at Glastonbury last year, probably in pretty much the same slot, probably in the Lord slot last year on the Pyramid stage. She wasn't great at Glastonbury, although that might have been because I wasn't great at Glastonbury. I was drunk at that moment, but I'd seen her before, seen her a few times before. Lauryn Hill was in the. She's a hip hop artist who was in the Fugees.
Oh, okay.
And then Ms. Lauryn Hill, everyone calls her Ms. Lauryn Hill. She put out this album after the Fugees called The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and it's a classic. It's absolute classic. And she can be difficult, and she can be a bit maverick, and be late on stage and whatever. But she seems to be coming back to her best, and she's not really performed. She sort of took about 5-10 years out, I think, of touring, but she seems to be back. And she's just someone who's moved me over the years, who I would love to see at a festival. So, I won't be as drunk this time, Lauren.
Well, there's no promises there. That side of the bus is ready and willing to go. So.
Yeah, she'll be happy in there because she's between Lord and the headliner, which will be Beyonce.
Oh my God! Yes, Beyonce.
Yeah, Beyonce to headline. And I saw Beyonce at Glastonbury, and I wasn't really aware of all her stuff. And it's only since Lemonade that only recently I've started really getting into it, and then seeing that live thing on Netflix that she did. And I'm a big fan of the Dissect podcast. Do you know that?
I don't actually. No.
Oh, it's just amazing. Dissect, and he goes through albums that you wouldn't really, and just dissects them. That's clearly what he does, but he does it professionally now. But it's he just does a track per episode, and he did Kanye, My Dark Twisted Fantasy, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and he's done Lauryn Hill, and he did Lemonade, and just teaches you about what these songs are about and what they mean, and so I've really got into in the last year, really, since that. I think she's an amazing artist.
How was she live when you saw her as well? And what?
She was fantastic. It was brilliant. That was again a great highlight of Glastonbury. It was a shame it was Sunday. The Sunday headline is always a difficult slot because everyone's just absolutely frazzled, ready to go home and frazzled. It was tremendous. It was Yeah, really, really good. One of the great opening 2 songs I've ever seen in a set.
So what were the opening tracks?
It was Crazy in Love, and followed by the other one. Put a ring on it, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's a power opener, right? That's
yeah.
That's
and Jay-Z was watching, and everyone thought they kept showing him on the screen, and you thought he was going to get on stage and everything. It was really cool, really, really good.
And yeah,
so she's a tremendous artist, and that album is just, when you start knowing what it's about and all the history of Lemonade and the breakup and everything, it is extraordinary. So I highly recommend Dissect, an American podcast about music. Yeah, really cool.
Brilliant. Well, I bet.
So there you go, and there's Friday. So then I'm going back to my tent. Actually, I might have to go. I might have to have some sort of, one of those posh caravans backstage, just because I'll be so busy all day.
Yeah, absolutely. You need that R&R as well. But
late night will be Brockhampton and Tyler. They'll be off in the woods somewhere, or whatever that smaller stage turns into. But yeah,
absolutely.
Cool.
That already feels like a whole festival in a single day, but you smashed it there. And that's not even the whole festival. You still got like billions of other things going on. Is there a big nightlife as well? Like there was obviously some late night stuff, but is there like in Glastonbury, there's lots of like party scenes going on? Is that kind of similar?
Well, there's the naughty corner, the southeast corner, as it's called. But I don't really go down there. I go down there and get a little bit edgy. I don't quite like the music, some of it down there. But anyway, I'm always in bed. I can't probably by about 1 or 2. I'm not very good at doing late night stuff, especially because you wake up early because it's so hot in the tents and stuff. But there'd be lots of late night stuff here. I'm more into the late night stuff at Latitude. Yeah, I love dance music. So I love going to see DJs, and there's this thing called the Disco Shed at Latitude, which will be here actually, and it's just a shed with a DJ in it and people just dancing, but it's to disco music. It's great, it's just great. There's got to be late night stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
So we wake up slightly hungover on a Saturday morning. I'm still in the VIP area. Ooh, and who's the first act on the second stage? On
the second stage, which I'm calling the smaller stage at the moment, the first act on is someone called Kanye West.
Who is that? Sorry, I don't think
Kanye West. I don't know. Well, you hadn't heard of Lauryn Hill, so I wouldn't be surprised if you hadn't heard of Kanye West.
Genuinely, that's the thing with this podcast. I always feel genuinely mortified when I don't know someone, and people are like, you don't know that. And on one of the podcasts, a few people have called me out and saying that I don't know Janelle Monáe as well. So I've lost my street cred, Tony, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen her as well. I've seen her at Latitude. She's amazing. Okay, right. So Kanye West, strange slot to put him on at 11:45 on a Saturday.
Yeah. Do you think he would do that? Because I think that's if you didn't put AM and PM, he might have said yes to it.
Yeah. I don't know if he'll do it. It'll be I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a bit of a struggle to ask him to come along just to play what's the time? 11:45 to 12:45. So an hour opening, to quite a small crowd. Let's face it. He'll get the crowd. He'll get the people, but he just won't be, because his light show won't look very good because it'll all be too bright and everything. Anyway, but there's a reason for putting him there.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of Kanye West. I think he's amazing. I was so looking forward to seeing him for the first time ever at Glastonbury, and he just let me down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was a disappointing performance that there were so many people saying, he's going to be rubbish. He's going to be rubbish. And you just go, oh, just watch him and see. I don't like Kanye. He's a bigger. And he was rubbish. He just didn't get it. He didn't get it. He didn't even say hello, or, what he didn't realize is that when you play at Glastonbury, you've been invited to our party, if you see what I mean, because we've all bought tickets before we know who's playing.
Yeah.
So at least you can do is say hello, thanks for having me, or not thanks, but at least say he could have been anywhere in the world, is what he did. It was just so impersonal and such a missed opportunity, because I'm sure he'd be fantastic. Nowadays, I don't know. He's clearly a troubled soul at the moment, and whether he can pull it off. But this would be quite stripped down, really. I don't know what he'll do. He'll probably do it. One, because it's me.
Yeah,
he's got great respect. He doesn't. We're not saying we're best friends. We're friends. And two, it'll be an opportunity to to do something different, and I think I've put a couple of asterisks, isn't it? Yes, the Glastonbury apology set. So it's just some sort of way of making up for pissing off Glastonbury, and also just it'll get him back on track. I think he needs to get back on track.
Wonderful. And it means so much when it's just basic kind of performance where you just kind of invite everyone to the room, and like you can win over an audience even if you don't know the music of the band, if they're just warm and inviting and they have heart. And I think that means more than anything else to me.
I think there's a format to festivals, whether you like it or not. You are playing in this field with 100,000 people looking at you on the Pyramid stage. It's very famous. You're being seen all over the world, and I don't know. It just seemed impolite what he did. I mean, it started off very well. Anyway, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I still am a huge fan of him. Less so some of his stuff that comes out, but he's probably produced more music in his lifetime that moved me so much than any other artist. And listen, I'm not going to go to war over it. If he doesn't want to play 11, I'll put him a bit later.
Yeah,
just to get him there.
Well, I like that though. It's kind of like it's a naughty step. It's like Kanye, you need to do, come back on a Saturday and do it again. Do it properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's in a county called Essex, Kanye. It's probably got 20,000 people tops.
Hello, London.
You'll get 300. No, it's not London, Kanye. It's Essex. It's very different. And you'll probably get 300 that time of the morning, mostly hungover. But anyway, Tony really wants you to do it. Tony who? Tony Gardner. Of course, I'll do that. I don't know why.
Is that Jack Gardner's dad? Because I heard his stuff. Love it.
Yeah.
So after Kanye,
is someone who I love, is Maggie Rogers. Do you know who Maggie Rogers is?
Yes, I do. Only by name, but like I've heard some tracks, but not massive.
She famously was the one that she went viral because Pharrell.
Yes,
saw her play at went to her music college, the New York College of Music or something, and just listened to her track and just loved it, and that's how she became a big star. And but we followed her ever since, and my family has, and many others.
That's great.
And we were at her first ever gig in the UK in a tiny place underneath the arches in SE1 somewhere in Borough, and met her. My son met her afterwards, and Rebecca's fiance. But so we've just followed her career and really love her. I've seen her several times. I think she'd be great.
Brilliant.
She might have to pick up the crowd after Kanye. But,
yeah, absolutely.
Kanye's yet again. He's disappointed.
Yeah,
this small festival in Essex.
He's going to come back another year and do another apology set at like I'm thinking 3 a.m. in the morning because I mean, like it gets earlier and earlier every time. Okay, so let's smash through this smaller stage.
Okay, so following on from Maggie will be Camera Obscura, a Scottish band who are wonderful. I hope they're back together. They had a tragedy by losing their keyboard player about 4 or 5 years ago, Carey. Tracy Ann Campbell is a fantastic vocalist, and again, just a band I love and have seen a few times, and so that will be fantastic. Yeah, Camera Obscura, followed by, now there's an asterisk, my first asterisk band, which is 10,000 Maniacs, who I've followed since the beginning. Funny enough, I was listening to them this week.
Oh wow!
Natalie Merchant is the lead singer, who isn't the lead singer anymore. She left them a long time ago, but they're still going. But so I would want Natalie Merchant to rejoin with the remaining members of 10,000 Maniacs and do a greatest hits. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And
followed by the Lemonheads again.
Yeah, cool.
Yes, Evan Dando's band. Yeah, who aren't in existence, but he could easily get a band together and call them the Lemonheads.
Yeah.
So this is showing my 90s sort of indie chops here. This is the Lemonheads. So that would have been my choice. Followed by Elbow. Everyone knows Elbow. Great festival band.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got the sunset slot. Isn't that interesting? I've given them the sunset slot.
Yeah.
That'll be very good. Yeah, I've seen them in the sunset slot on the Pyramid at Glastonbury. But
I think I saw them there. It was 2014, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was
a poet, as my son calls him. Guy Garvey is a poet.
Yeah,
I know his brother. Isn't that interesting? I know. Yeah, I worked with his brother. His brother Marcus is an actor. I don't know why I paused.
Yeah,
I have to work out whether he's an actor. And again, that was my thing. That I was very excited to meet Marcus because he was the brother of Guy Garvey. But Marcus is a great guy, great actor. He was in Last Tango in Halifax with me. But so that's my little tiny connection to Elbow. Headline on the other stage.
Take it away from me.
Kate Bush.
Yeah, Kate Bush has never appeared on this podcast, and like I don't know how not.
Because people don't think she'll turn up. Because she's famous, but I think she might do Glastonbury one year. I wouldn't be surprised, just because that's more her vibe. But yeah, it's worth asking her. I did see her last when she came back and did that series of gigs at the Hammersmith, and it was fantastic. It was brilliant, and she would be wonderful. So Kate Bush to headline, great. What a festival! I can't wait.
You know what? Like, honestly, your smaller stage stands up on its own legs as well. Like, genuinely, like it could be its own thing. And on the late night.
So I've got a late night thing going on in that stage. I haven't quite worked it out yet, but that all turns into something, it's not a headliner, but it's a late night stuff. And I might be wrong with these artists. I've got Christine and the Queens.
Oh my God, yes.
Saw her first gig at Glastonbury, and on the day of the Brexit vote, the result of that, 250,000 Liberals in a field really fucked off. The first thing we saw was, and we were all so upset. And the first thing we saw was Christine and the Queens and singing in French, and it was just beautiful and sad, and a great moment. And she was wonderful, and she's become a big star since. And then a band, probably she might have to swap with a band called Halos, who I really love. Don't know why. A friend knew the lead singer, and I've followed them since. And they're great, sort of dancey, Massive Attack sort of again type of feel. I love that sort of laid back sort of vibe. Might not be right for that slot. I might have to swap them with something a bit more dancey, but possibly. But
no, I think that would work as well. It's like, especially if you just you finish seeing Kate Bush, you need a bit of a chill out.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I have seen them do a late night thing at Latitude once, and I love them. I think they're a great band. So there you go.
Okay, brilliant. So let's head to the biggest stage and see who's playing on the day.
Biggest stage, that's an interesting start I've got there. The first act is Lady Lamb.
So tell me more about Lady Lamb.
Lady Lamb started life. She's a solo singer from America, from Maine, I think. She was first of all called Lady Lamb the Beekeeper. Don't know why, and she's dropped the beekeeper bit, and she's just a singer, guitarist, and me and my son, and both my sons actually really like her, and we've seen her, and she's great. She's quite writes these great songs that just don't have a usual structure. She doesn't really have verses and choruses. It sounds weird, but anyway, it's just someone we really, really like. That's probably why I put her first, because she probably isn't for everyone.
That Saturday morning's it's like quite a chilled out start. People are a bit hungover. It's quite a nice way to be introduced to the day. It's like
yeah. And also, she'll probably draw a bigger crowd than Kanye, the way he's going at the moment, because she's up against Kanye. Looking at my spreadsheet here, she's up against Kanye, so it's definitely, there'll be a lot of anti-Kanye sentiment, so she might draw quite a nice crowd, because they still haven't forgiven him for Glastonbury, so they'll all say, I ain't going to Kanye and I'm hungover, I'll go and see whoever this is, this Lady Lamb, and she'll be pleasantly surprised, because I think she's great.
If it's not already too late to change it from Tonystock, you should definitely change it to anti-Kanye sentiment. I think that might be a nice thing to do.
Fuck Kanye festival.
But he is on, so at least it's to his face. So unbelievably, the next act is
I'm messing around here, aren't I?
Yeah, you're playing.
I mean, I've gone. That's Kanye to headline the other stage, and then the second on up is the Strokes.
Oh my God! Obviously, a phenomenal, legendary band. Like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that's mental.
Yeah, a bit weird. 1:15 to 2, it says on my spreadsheet here in front of me. They'll be all right. They'll be fine. I quite look forward to that. Yeah, I have seen them a few times. Saw them at Brixton Academy, and great live band. And and the last album was terrific.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, he says, absolutely. I love them. Lovely album. What a lovely tunes they were writing, and they've really come back to good God.
The songs were plentiful, and they sounded magnificent.
Yes. Well done, the Strokes. So we'll jolly well enjoy them, and they'll be followed by Years and Years, which is more my wife's choice, Years and Years, but I did see them at Glastonbury, a fantastic act, really, really good dancey sort of stuff, pretty good for that time of day, 2:30 till 3:30, poppy, dancey, got a great front man, can't remember his name, but really, really good. Followed again by my wife's choice, but I would have chosen these as well, Nothing But Thieves, Essex Band, a band from Southend. And they are tremendous. They're such a good band with one of the greatest rock vocalists there's been for decades.
Oh, brilliant.
So I love them a lot.
Yeah,
Nothing But Thieves. Oh, you've got to listen to Nothing But Thieves because you're a bit of a rocker, aren't you?
Yes,
Yeah, they're just terrific. Really, really good band. Yeah,
I will check them out. Thank you.
Not that heavy. They're not that heavy.
Yeah, and not gonna be like it's not gonna be like a nice and chill out.
Metallica.
Like, yeah, come on, let's mosh pits all around. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
not like that.
Yeah. No, but then again, like there is there's a kind of a vibe at your festival which is like nice, wholesome, and quite chilled out, even when it is a bit like a bit more dancey. There's a nice
I have got a thrash metal stage in the woods.
Oh,
I was just want to go through my stages first. Then you can fuck off to the thrash metal stage where you're going to be all fucking weekend off your tits.
It's just going to be me and Kanye West at the thrash metal stage. Us two only. Like we're
you'll have to talk him down, just saying, Kanye, it's all right, mate. Have some of this. Have a bump of that, mate.
Yeah.
And he'll be fine. He'll talk 10 to the dozen and fall asleep.
While Megadeth are playing, we're having a nice chat. You know what I mean? It's pretty nice. So, thank you for giving me that thrash metal stage in the woods.
You're welcome.
So we got to talk about the final three of the Saturday. And
final three. That's an interesting final three. I might have trouble with all three of these people. One, to get two of them to reform, and two, whether they'll like not being headliners, because I think all three will like being headliners.
Absolutely.
Possibly not. The 6 till 7:15 slot is taken by Stevie Wonder.
And like you can't argue Stevie Wonder. No matter where you stand on your musical tastes, you have to love Stevie Wonder. What a legend!
Yeah, I've always adored Stevie Wonder, and that would be great. It was wonderful at Glastonbury, and I saw him there, and I saw him do the Songs in the Key of Life, his famous double album at Hyde Park a few years back.
Oh, wow.
Glorious, just glorious. So he's probably a headliner. But listen, I'm in meetings and we'll work.
Yeah, well, you've got some good clout with him. Stevie's doing you a strong one. But
so next to last, Stevie probably needs an early night, to be honest. So I don't want to keep him up late. He's coming close to 80 now, I think. Is he? Maybe 70s, 80, maybe nearly 80. So he needs to go to bed. So I'm doing him a favor by putting him there. Plus, it's all going to kick off a bit because Saturday night, it looks like it's indie night because the second to last band is the Stone Roses.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, this is
formed, split up, reformed. At the moment, they've split up, but I think they might be back. But no. I think they'll come back for this. They'll reform for this. No, they won't be back. Yeah, they're always fighting. But terrific, great band. Terrific. Keep saying terrific. That's Terrific Fest.
Tony's Terrific Fest.
It's top hole fest. So Stone Roses, followed by Oasis. And they'll reforming Oasis. It's going to happen one day.
Yeah.
We always talk about who at Glastonbury again, but
right. So like imagine like you're there on your Saturdays and you're there, it's Stevie Wonder, Stone Roses, then Oasis. Your head would explode. That's
interesting enough. A lot of people would stay for all three. I think a lot of Stone Roses fans. Stone Roses come on stage to Stoned Love by the Supremes. That's a Motown song. I'm sure a lot of people of a certain age would like Stevie Wonder as well. So that's not a bad slot. Oasis, it's going to happen one day. They'll be back one day. It might take a few years, but they'll be back. And I've seen them lots. I saw them in December after Definitely Maybe came in the.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, I didn't really know much about them, and Whatever had just come out, and just saw this band. I've never seen it. I swear to God, I've never seen anything like it.
Oh my God!
Front man was just extraordinary. He was just the greatest front man I've ever seen, and still is. I think he was just brilliant. Still is. And Liam was supposed to play at Glastonbury this year, wasn't he? But no, he played last year. He was supposed to play at Latitude this year. So you have essentially 3 potential headliners there. So why did you pick Oasis to be the top of that bill? Why did they just take the final slot of that night? Because it's the first gig they've done since reforming, because they're reforming specifically for this festival. So that's the only way I can get them there. Which I think will be a moment. It will be fantastic. Liam's singing much better. I think they will get back together, but it'll take a few years. But it'll be very exciting to see.
That's wonderful.
Oasis, again, a band that's probably produced so much music that's moved me over the last 2 decades.
Do you think they would get on with the Stone Roses as well? Do you think that would be
yeah. I'm sure they're fine. I think they know each other. Well, yeah, they do. I saw John Squire play with Oasis at Nebworth.
Oh, brilliant!
On Sunday of Nebworth. Yeah. I was there for that. I was there both days for that, actually. Yeah, so I'm an Oasis fan and a Stone Roses fan. I saw Stone Roses in the reformed stuff about 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, cool.
Okay, let's quickly move on to the Sunday, because you know what? Like, again, if Friday was a festival in Cannes, Saturday is like 5 festivals in Cannes. Oh my god! So I've no doubt Sunday's going to blow my socks off as well. So let's start again.
Looking at Sunday, it looks like I've thought about it. I've made it. There's definitely a theme to the main stage, so we'll go to the smaller stage first. Starts with a band called Lady Hawk, who's a female artist from New Zealand who our family loves, and she's produced. That's just one of those things that we just used to play in the car when dropping the kids off at school. But Lady Hawk would be a great opening act.
What I love about your knowledge is that not only do you have a wide array of female acts, but also international acts. And on top of that, you know so much about each of the artists that you have on this. Such a like I have the same kind of thing, but not to the same degree. That you know loads of different band members by name as well. This is wonderful. I would love how much your brain has that as well.
No, I've never thought about that. I suppose once I sort of it's so easy to do now, isn't it? You just Google them. But yeah, I do like sort of finding out who these people are and and then stalking them and getting. Oh no, sorry, that's my son.
Lovely callback there.
So followed Lady Hawk's going to be followed by Laura Marling. Wonderful, quite a nice slot for a 1:15 to 2 on the other stage, and she's an absolute genius, beautiful guitarist, wonderful singer, fantastic songwriter. I mean, it doesn't get much. That last album of hers is off the scale good. Song for Our Daughter, that's called. Very good. She's brilliant. Followed by another. Oh God, it's embarrassing, isn't it? All these female fronted.
No, it's
good. The Japanese House. There's lovely, trippy sort of beautiful vocalist. She's a singer-songwriter called Amber Bain. Sorry.
Amber Bain.
Called brilliant. Amber Bain. Amber Rain. Nice.
Amber Rain is the sequel to the Prince song, but it's not as good. But
yeah. Amber Bain, and she's fantastic, and lovely stuff. That sort of stuff I can listen to and work. You know, it's one of those sort of very sort of ambient sort of lovely music in the background, and very ethereal. Yeah, she'd be great. Wolf Alice, I have talking about meeting musicians and stuff. I met Wolf Alice once because I had tweeted about them when I saw them at Glastonbury years and years ago.
Yeah,
so I was into them, and so they asked me to be in their video.
Oh wow, that's so cool!
Of course, I want to be in there. Fantastic! I was so excited to meet them, and that's the first time I was sort of meeting proper pop stars and things. And I remember going to meet them and sort of seeing them, and they're about 19, you know, sort of really see them, and they're not on stage. They really are very young. I was going, hi, really nice to meet you. I'm a big fan. They were going, oh, it's really nice to meet you. We like my parents are aliens. They were fans of my parents are aliens, and I was sort of, we're both sort of mutual admiration of each other. But so I did a video called Giant Peach, which I'm very proud of. It was a great one day's filming, and their manager, and and it's the song they end their set with usually, and very exciting.
That's something we never really talked about on this podcast, but music videos and obviously you are an actor and you obviously know how it works on like TV sets and films, but like how does it work on a music video set as well? Like how was that experience?
It was interesting because I've only ever done that one, and it's all usually done in a day, and the speed of it was like guerrilla filmmaking. I've never seen anything like it, and they just make up so much stuff on the hoof. I mean, you get a lot of, you're making 3 or 4 minute film in one day. I mean, and sort of quite complicated stuff, but a lot of it is do that, no, try that, do that. But there's they've got to get through it very, very quickly. If you see the video, it's got so many different bits, but they just bang it out. But these guys are brilliant. Ultimately you just got to take some footage of them miming to the song. But it was great. It was really, really nice. It turned out really well. So I'm a huge fan of Wolf Alice. I was anyway, and now I sort of feel they won the Mercury Prize for their last album, and nice. I feel as though I'm part of their journey, which for someone who's a huge fan of, not a part of their journey, but I'm in their journey. with someone who's such a fan of musicians, it was quite exciting for me.
They actually said the only reason they won the Mercury Prize was because there's some actor in their music video at some point. I can't remember.
Much so.
Yeah,
very much so. Yeah. Followed by, after Wolf Alice, they'll be great rocking out. Bon Iver, who's just genius. Justin Vernon. Bon Iver is...
genuinely, like I might be I'm from North Yorkshire, and I've only seen Bon Iver written down, so I was thinking, oh, that's Bon Iver right there. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I would have done that. I would have done that. And funny enough, I did listen to Laura Marling talking about him on a podcast about a month ago, and she called him Bon Iver, but it is Bon Iver.
Okay,
why I don't know, but it means good winter, I suppose, or it's a version of that. But yeah, his real name's Justin Vernon. But tremendous artist, really good. Always does different things, excites, and does lots of stuff with Kanye as well. And but anyway, yeah, he'd be great. Like to see him. I have seen him. Followed by the Streets. God, I've got the Streets.
Oh,
in. That's
wow!
Nice.
What a treat!
Yeah. That's a great band. They'd be fantastic. Probably put them on late at night. I might move them. But yeah. Followed by Radiohead, of course. Yeah.
Oh, and that's quite surprising.
Got them on the other stage. Are they going to do that? I think they will. To be honest, they don't give a shit.
They.
And it's me.
And like Tom York's like, oh, it's such a pleasure to be here. I'm a fan of My Parents Are Aliens.
Yeah, absolutely. my kids are a fan of My Parents Are. Yeah, but yeah. I think that's a bold choice, as bold as Stone Roses and Stevie Wonder and Oasis, but it's quality choice. It is quality. It's a bold choice to put them on the other stage. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh well, they'll see why. They'll understand why. Absolutely. When we go to the other stage. And then the late night stuff, this is late night stuff. This is what the late night stuff should be. So this is dance music. Underworld, probably one of my favorite bands.
Yeah,
I just love Underworld. They just, mean so much to me. And they'd be just amazing late night. And then a band called Sophie Tucker, who I've got into during lockdown, who do a half-hour DJ set. They're on about the 160th. They've done it ever since the beginning. And they're an American boy and girl duo, brilliant DJs, but also great musicians as well. And I think they're going to be huge. And what they've done for people in lockdown has been fantastic. So every day at I think 6 o'clock UK time, they're on Twitch doing their DJ set. And they'd just be brilliant DJing late at night after Underworld. That'd be a good night. And
why, as you quite right.
I've got a dance area as well, I think, well, to be honest, Matt.
The dance area is right next to the thrash metal tent as well. In fact, you can't really hear the thrash metal because the dance is too loud.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, what I really like is like a lot of artists who have done it daily as well. And obviously, when you start out in lockdown, doing stuff daily, it's like, oh, this is only going to last like a couple of weeks, very minimum. But then, then obviously people have been doing it for like 160 days straight as well. So
I think they're going to go. They'll get to 200, I think, and they're clearly locked down. They're in some nice place in America, and they have other artists doing I've really enjoyed the Twitch and the DJ sets on Twitch. So I don't go to clubs or anything as such, but I like watching DJs work, and Sophie Tucker have been doing this every day, and it's sort of stuff I really always fascinated by, watching DJs work, and it's been quite good for lockdown. They've just been just doing their stuff and just putting it out there. Yeah, cool.
So I think we've only got the main stage left on Sunday, and I'm going to say it's a perfect finish. So take it away, Tony.
Yeah, so it looks like these are really big bands in my musical upbringing, I suppose, it looks more, it's quite indie, I'd probably call it.
Yeah,
it's an indie day. So it starts off with an artist called Roddy Frame, who I wouldn't expect you know. Do you?
No, I don't.
No?
I'm really sorry.
That's all right. No. Have you heard of a band called Aztec Camera?
Rings a bell, but I can't say I know much about them.
Do you know that Boris Johnson's our Prime Minister?
Sorry, who? I know it's Gordon.
I used to have to ask elderly patients the test for dementia back in the 80s, and you used to sort of say count backwards from 7. You have to ask. And I used to be a doctor, you see, so I used to.
Oh really?
You got to count backwards from 7, and these are tests you do, or whatever, and do this and do that, and they know nothing there. And one of the tests, what's the date? What's your name? Where do you live? And then one thing you always had to ask them was, who's the Prime Minister? And everyone, even however demented they were, would always go, Margaret Thatcher, Maggie. Oh, Maggie, yeah, Maggie Thatcher. They all knew Margaret Thatcher. So that's why I asked you, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, wow.
You didn't know anything else. Anyway, Roddy Frame doesn't know who Lauryn Hill is. You've got a lot of homework to do, Matt.
Oh, yeah,
to hold on to that VIP laminate. You've got a lot of work to do.
I'm
year, disappointed.
Yeah. Like next year, it's been pulled away from me.
You've got a year till this festival goes on, and I'm hoping it might be next year. If not, we're going to push it back to the year after.
I feel that I'm going to have to do a Glastonbury apology set for you next year as well. And in fact, I'm going to come back I'm going to put Kanye to shame. I'll know everything about everyone. Okay.
Okay. Well, Roddy Frame, Aztec Camera. That's a bit of homework for you. Listen to that wonderful band. He was 19 and in 2 weeks made his first album called Highland Hard Rain, and it's a beautiful, beautiful album. Probably one of my top 10 albums of all time. Big shout out to Tim Burgess from the Charlatans for doing something called Tim's Twitter Listening Party. Have you heard of that?
I haven't, but I know
that's another. That's another. Well done. That's another thing that's been fantastic in lockdown, and he did this album on that. Anyway, so Roddy Frame be a wonderful start, one of the great guitarists in the country, followed by a band called the Sundays, who aren't in existence anymore, but they're a husband and wife band who could easily get back together. I'm expecting them to anytime. So I'm hoping they get back together. The Sundays' first 2 albums were wonderful, particularly the first album. Again, they're a 1980s band. Then a band called The Wedding Present, who I love very, very much and have been into since the 80s, and who are still going. And I've got to know them through sort of being on their documentary film that they made and that sort of stuff. So that's very exciting. So I love The Wedding Present. God, I've got Wedding Present stuff all around me. I think signed albums and stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
So, and they've never played a decent festival, from what I've seen. They do their own festival called At the Edge of the Sea in Brighton. But I'd like David Gedge, who's the lead singer and the main artist in The Wedding Present. I'd like them to do certainly Glastonbury one year. If they can't do Glastonbury, they'll do this one.
Yeah.
So that's The Wedding Present, followed by a band called the House Martins.
Yes,
who have to reform. God, I'm such a fanboy. I've met Stan Cullimore from the House Martins, the lead guitarist, which was very exciting for me. They're an 80s band, brilliant band, such a great band. First album was called London Nil Hull 4, and they did a song called Happy Hour. That's probably their big hit. Yeah. So the House Martins would have to reform. So it would be Stan Cullimore and Paul Heaton, who went on to form Beautiful Self, and their bass player was Norman Cook, who's Fatboy Slim.
Yes, yeah.
So that would be fun to have Norman Cook have to get up on stage. And
yes, oh my God. Yeah, absolutely.
And he's bound to be there somewhere doing 7 sets at night, like a Glastonbury thing, because he won't. I won't be able to keep him away. So that'd be nice. Followed again, these have got a reform, but again, a husband and wife band called Everything But the Girl, Tracy Thorne and Ben Watt, who I adore. And I like all their stuff, particularly their last 2 more dancey sort of albums. So I'd like them to reform. So again, they started in the 80s. Yeah, I think 82.
Is there something about the idea that you like artists who have like a family connection or some kind of like other than just bandmates as well? Is there, because it seems to be, it's just
the answer
happen chance
to that, Matt, is no. No. Honestly, I don't think there is. Again, I think the thing, again, looking at it, I like, obviously, I'm thinking off the top of my head now, just looking at them, but yeah, singer-songwriters, I like fun lyrics. Everything But the Girl, Tracy Thorne's one of the great female vocalists, one of the most beautiful female voices of all time, in my opinion. And the female voice is something that is something I just love for some reason. I don't know why, just is, and that's why they're all coming along. It's going to be a really good backstage. I tell you, we're going to have some fun.
Gonna tell, that VIP room, that green room, is going to be absolutely rocking. Yeah. In fact, you can't really hear them because they're just all like singing your praises, literally as well.
Oh,
part of the pre-requirement.
Listen, I just sit on the throne, keep it away, really.
I
sit on the throne in my crown and scepter and not draw attention to myself, Matt. Occasionally people will walk up and give me drinks, and
the cider bus honks at you every time you finish your glass.
Cider bus,
and Jack Gardner's nowhere to be seen, so
he'll be there somewhere.
So who are the final two?
So the final two acts, quite troubling, that my lead actor really, but there you go. So subbing on the Sunday, the act before the final act are the Arctic Monkeys.
Wow.
Who were just one of our, I suppose, my family, they're probably one of our favourite bands. From the last album.
What did you think about because I can't remember the name, but it was Hotel
Go up to space and talk shit.
Right, because my brother...
sorry, Hotel Base Tranquility something.
Tranquility
I wanted to love it so much, and I just didn't.
Arctic Monkeys are very interesting band. My brother is like the world's biggest fan of them, and so I know them from him. And when I grew up, I didn't like Arctic Monkeys for that reason, but I can now understand. Again, it's that tribalism, but equally, like with Arctic Monkeys, though, like they have lots of different. I think they were trying to put a different sound out there, and I wasn't sure how it worked for them. I always like when an artist takes a punt at something experimental. But I think you have to acknowledge when it doesn't necessarily work, or try things out.
I listened to the Beatles the other day for the first time for a while, and I think I had something, I can't remember what it was. It was maybe the White Album or something, and that was a band that lasted for, I don't know, 8 years, whatever. Pretty much what the Arctic Monkeys have been around for, and clearly they did that sort of thing, and it just felt that the Arctic Monkeys were trying to do something that was very different. But ultimately, it wasn't. It was just dirge. It just didn't work for some reason. It's such a shame.
Because I think it was a concept album, but I just don't think. I'm not quite sure how it panned out.
But I do love them. I do, and I think they've given me some of the greatest moments at Glastonbury and live. They're fantastic. And my daughter's at Sheffield doing a degree at Sheffield, so there's a sort of connection there as well. She said Freshers Week, walking down West Street in Sheffield, every other bar would have the Arctic Monkeys coming up because they own them. Arctic Monkeys is their band. When you were there in the 80s, it would have been, the Pulp were your band, or 90s. Pulp were your band. I just love that idea. But they're terrific. So Arctic Monkeys would be, and they'd be happy not headlining, because we're asking a band to reform, and this is very unlikely. In fact, almost completely unlikely. They're not going to reform. The Smiths.
And you can't really go. Well, I was going to say you can't go wrong with the Smiths. Well,
you can go wrong.
You can.
You seriously can go wrong because of how Morrissey is at the moment, or has developed into how permanent it is. But he's clearly full of shit.
Right.
He's a very troubled man, and he's coming out with all this right-wing shit that he's always flaunted, over the years, and we sort of forgiven him. There was lots of controversies in the 90s because we love this band, and I was at college for between 92 and 87. Sorry, 1982 to 1987. I was a medical student, and the Smiths were from 1982 to 1987. They only lasted for that long and stopped. So they're just part of my, DNA really, or just the soundtrack to that time of my life, which is probably one of the most formative times of your life. So
absolutely,
I adore them. I'd like them to reform. I don't think they won't. I know they won't. They never will. Morrissey's a twat. But the music is still the greatest music. And then we start getting into all the, can you separate the artist from the, from the music? And yes, you can. That's why we're not having Rolf Harris and Jimmy Savile in the dance tent. So
Yeah, I mean, like, what a way to finish the festival that would be as well. Like, we had the wrong uns tent as well.
No, but you know what I mean. It's
Yeah,
sort of,
but
or
yeah,
you know, can you listen to Michael Jackson? I suppose is a better example than Rolf Harris and Jimmy Savile. You know, I find it difficult to listen to Michael Jackson, and I've had long arguments about this. And but no, the Smiths.
Genuinely, I think it's quite difficult. We've had this conversation quite a lot on Castival, and it's quite difficult to. It's hard to end up where to go is because I think if it's emotionally, people are connected to that music, and obviously they connect to that music before they hear allegations and stuff like that. That's why if you look at there's a really good R. Kelly documentary called "Surviving R. Kelly." It was on Netflix, I think it still is, and it's very like it is quite traumatizing. It's quite horrendous, but also you see their music fans are defending him, and it feels and I think I can understand why they would do that. I don't agree with it, but I can see it why they can do that because they love that person so much, and it was so much for that community that I think there was that connection there. But so much that they don't see the truth, if you know what I mean. And I think that's the issue, isn't it? And
it's an interesting discussion. I don't think that the Smiths are in R. Kelly or Michael Jackson territory.
For sure.
I mean, you know, all they've got is a lead singer who's turned into a bit of a twat. But it means that we're not stopping listening to the music. We still, you know, the music we still love, and I can distance because he's not done enough. If Morrissey was a paedophile, I probably wouldn't be able to listen to the Smiths. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. It's weird. It's just that's me. That's my personal thing. Yeah, I think too much water's gone under the bridge. I have funny enough, I've got 2 albums on my wall signed by Johnny Marr because Johnny Smith's Rank and Strange Race Here We Come, because Johnny Marr's kids came on to the My Parents Are Aliens set when they were kids.
No way.
Yeah.
God.
They were so excited. You go, hello. It was like Wolf Alice again. Go,
Hello,
Brian. I'm going, hello, Johnny Marr's kids. Can you get your dad to sign my albums, please?
Yeah. That's so nice.
Yeah. His son's a musician now. And so the Smiths, we play this game every time we go out to the pub, really. Who would you most like to see at Glastonbury? And clearly, it was always Prince. Prince would have been the greatest headliner, and if we were going to go posthumously, I'd probably Prince would headline the Saturday of this festival. But the other one's always going to be the Smiths, and I've seen the Smythes there so many times. They're like this the fake Smiths, whatever. Yeah. But and Johnny Marr last year, saw him, wonderful, fantastic, and the Killers had Johnny Marr come on and they did This Charming Man. And
yes, mate,
it was great.
And the thing is with Johnny Marr, and like he has just gone from strength to strength as well, and and just to see the amount of studio work he's done over the last 3 decades is phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? Like he's worked with so many bands, produced so many albums. He's an absolute he's like wonderful.
Yeah, but it's not the Smiths. Johnny Marr. And even Johnny Marr singing, Smith songs, he does it really well. It's fantastic, but it's not Morrissey. And even seeing Morrissey, who I've seen several times, including at Glastonbury, he does Smith songs. It's not the Smiths. You need the whole package. And it's like seeing Liam do Oasis songs. Yeah, it's great, fantastic, but it's not Noel, it's not Bonehead. So that's a real fantasy to get them there. I know that's not going to happen, but that is who I would most like to headline Glastonbury, would be the Smiths. And my festival, of course.
I've got to say, what jam-packed
Morrissey can shut the fuck up. As long as he doesn't say anything, as long as he can speak and he can apologize for being a twat. But he's going to have to do that before Johnny Marr even sits in the same room as him. Mm-hmm. He's going to have to just stand up and say, look, I've been a twat. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was drunk. Can we just sing the songs of the 5 years that we were together? I think there's 70 of them or something. And any one of them will do. Yeah. So that would be amazing. And that is Tonystock.
Absolutely beautiful stuff there. And
big fireworks. See you next year, everyone. I'll come on the stage at the end. Hey, arms round Johnny Marr and not Morrissey. Morrissey's going to have to change his whole moral compass to even come to this festival.
Or maybe he could sing, but he's in the stocks the whole time. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got the head through the planks. You know what I mean? He's like, it could. But I love that festival, and I love how much time and effort you put into it as well. But without further ado, I think it's time to deal with some floor fillers. As with event management, things are bound to go wrong. So here are a couple of hypothetical questions that Tony has to deal with in a manner that he sees fit. Okay, so your first question, Tony, is, oh no, Beyonce's cancelled last minute on Friday. Who do you get to replace her?
The Police.
Oh wow!
I think so. I saw them reform, and they were disappointing. But even so, I mean, they're three brilliant musicians, and as long as they don't argue, and even it doesn't matter that they argue, they'll be fine. So I think the Police would be a good headliner. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't put them in anyway, but the Police would be a great replacement for Beyonce.
Wonderful. So, oh dear, someone is running late to your festival, and you need to fill for time. Fortunately, one of your favorite celebrities is willing to do a DJ set for you. And they don't need to be a DJ, but just any celebrity whatsoever. Which celebrity would you pick?
Which celebrity? Well, I'd have to have Fatboy Slim. I think Fatboy Slim doing a DJ set is going to be pretty good, to be honest.
Safe hands.
I don't mess around. You don't really want someone who's not a DJ doing a DJ set, do you?
I don't know. It could be quite cool.
No, because I'm really into the whole technical side of DJing. I don't understand it. I don't know it, but I think seeing, it should be Fatboy Slim doing it with, I don't know, some other great big DJ who I can't remember the name of.
Okay, that's brilliant. The Gallaghers act like total divas towards you. How do you get your revenge?
No, I'd be fine with that. They can do exactly what they like, as long as they won't want to talk to me. I always define people in life about whether I'd like to go to the pub with them or not. And I've always said for years, actually, up until about the last 5 years, that a great example would be Noel Gallagher. I'd love to go to the pub with Noel. That would be great. Liam, no, it'd be a pain in the arse. And now I've changed it because Liam's become quite nice, actually. So I would like to go to the pub with either of them, but I fully expect both of them would hate me. Because the assumption they just think, oh, posh git and all that sort of stuff. But I've got a slight get in because I was born in Manchester, but so possibly. But no, I don't think they'd be interested in me or talk to me. That's absolutely fine. You want your pop stars to be a bit like that, don't you? Rock stars. But I still think Noel. I think he's one of the funniest guys. He's
absolutely funny. Yeah.
And Liam's becoming very funny as well. What a shame. So we've got to get them together. There's a lot of people who've got to reform for this.
Yeah. Okay. One of your acts forgets their equipment, but good news, they can do an acoustic set. Who out of your whole lineup would you pick to do an acoustic set?
Ben Folds.
Oh, yes.
And by acoustic, I mean a grand piano. I've seen him do his grand piano set. And so Ben Folds. That's a bit of a cheat because that's something he does anyway. So let's think of another acoustic. Haim. I think Haim would be very good.
Haim, good shout. Absolutely.
Yeah. They do an acoustic set. They're great musicians.
Okay, so Stone Roses and Stevie Wonder had some bad beef. There's some they hate each other, and they can't stand the other one. And they say they won't perform if the other one is performing on the bill. Which one do you choose between Stevie Wonder and the Stone Roses?
I'd choose the Stone Roses. Just because I think it's more of an event to have Stone Roses and then Oasis. And
for sure.
Stevie, look, I'm worrying about his age a little bit.
Yeah.
And I have seen him, so that's to be completely selfish. So Stevie, just wind your neck in. Just, it's all right. It's Ian Brown. It's Ian Brown. No one fucking takes any notice of him anyway. Just let him get on with it. But I don't understand what he says. It's like, fine, it's okay. It's Ian Brown. No one understands anything. He's a 56-year-old man in trainers and a denim jacket. Just let it be.
I can't believe you say wind your neck into Stevie Wonder. Imagine.
Yeah. No, it's time for Stevie. It's not that important. He shouldn't. He should just get along with it. He's obviously got pissed off by Ian. Usually, it'd be Ian Brown pissing him off doing some blind joke. Yes, it was. Steve, honestly, it was distasteful. It was wrong. He shouldn't have done it, but he's off his tits.
Yeah. Right. And finally, the people of Tonystock absolutely love you, Tony, and they want you to sing one song at your festival. If you had to join a band to sing one song, which song would you pick to sing?
I'd have to sing with the Smiths.
Yeah,
but I'd probably try and sing some sort of backing. I wouldn't want to sing. I'd sing some backup. I would learn the backup, but it's the only backup artist that the Smiths ever had was Kirsty MacColl, really. So I'd probably have to do that, and I don't think I could do that range. So hang on, let me have a look down the list. I wouldn't want to do anything because I would ruin everything. If I could sing backup vocals. King Princess. No, the Strokes. I could probably. That's my range.
For sure. You put a lot of people aren't as rational or benevolent as you, because a lot of people, when I ask that question, is like, I can't sing, but I will absolutely go for it for the headline.
But I'm sure. I think, and you haven't told me the answer to this, but I suspect a lot of people went for posthumous acts. Yeah.
Well, it depends, because certain acts, listeners, you can check out all the previous episodes.
Yeah, it makes you want to listen to all of them. Yeah,
absolutely. And there are some wonderful acts. And Tony, joking, but yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it's so some people. It's been a mixed bag. I think some people have really lent into it. In fact, like places, people like Dane Baptiste did a whole festival called Afterlife, where it was all posthumous people. But sometimes it's been a mixed bag of different things, and I think it's been it's like a bit. It's a bit more of an odd selection, but with your, sometimes there's different concept, and yours is certainly one of the.
Well, see, mine's fixed in. This could actually happen.
Yeah, like yours is the most realistic in terms of it's in, and the way you've approached it has had a realist angle to it, which I've really appreciated. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. What an absolute joy it's been.
Well, it's been far more fun than I was expecting. No, not at all. I knew it was going to be fun. Listen, it's my wheelhouse. It's like I can sit and talk about festivals all day long, as I usually do at festivals.
Yeah.
So it's sort of what I do, and I'm very used to. It's just that usually no one wants to listen. So to have someone the other side of a Zoom meeting listening to me spout on about all these acts. It's been great.
Honestly, it's been an absolute joy. And where can people find you online, Tony?
Twitter at Tony Gardner.
Perfect.
I don't, or Instagram. Yeah, Twitter or Instagram. That's the way to get in touch with me. But I don't really have product. I just have a need to work.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you.
I just want a job.
Yeah, if you have any jobs, if you've got any festival management positions,
any
open,
acting work at all, I'll do anything.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thank you so much for listening to this wonderful Castival episode. If you really like what we do, please follow us online at Castival Podcast on Twitter. And you can also email us at castivalpodcast@gmail.com if you want to submit your own festival to the podcast. Beyond that, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple and any other podcast server you can. And beyond that, do tell your friends about it and promote it as much as possible. But do join me in saying a massive thank you to my absolutely delightful guest, Tony Gardner.
Thank you.